Hostile broadcast picked up. Reinforcements incoming.
Yeah, I'm back, and as usual, I still only want to play as a tank. This build, as you'll see, I'll go through it real quick to just pause as I go through it again. I mean, it hasn't changed because I haven't played the game in a while. But it's pretty much like the most maxed out armor regen build I feel like I could make, combined with a good shield build, not the most maxed out one. Because a truly maxed out shield build it's impossible to make an armor, like a pure armor regen with it, because you'd want to go into Technician Tree, get some skill tiers combined with Artificer Hive to really boost your shield, and probably use the Liberty Pistol, which in my view does a little bit less damage than actually my other pistol currently. So yeah, this build will never be good for Legendary, unfortunately, because you just take too much damage, and its shield at that point breaks too quickly. So I only ever have to do a different loadout for that, which is just a pure shield build. But still, especially once I max out the SHD and armor, it'll be great for just pure tankiness. I mean, that's just what I prefer playing. I know this game is, and yeah, the video cut out because it was only a 10-minute mark. Can only do 10-minute videos with Xbox captures. But yeah, I know. Everyone's about DPS. I know if you do like certain things in the game, like Paradise Lost? I tried that too. And I think we got far, but we still could never ultimately beat it. And the end conclusion was because I was playing as a tank. Like, I was able to assist my teams and they enjoyed me being a tank in certain situations during like an incursion. But for the most part, they could tell it's like, okay. They asked me, do you have another loadout? I'm like, nope. And eventually I'll get that. It's just, I already know in this game, like, I only want to play, like, this is my primary build, I can tell. Which is why I've boosted some of my armor, too. And I don't have much expertise yet, because that seems like the longest grind of all time in this game. But I'll finally get it, and I know I'm planning to make it focus only on this build. Because my logic will be, if I ever need to use a DPS build, I'm just going to, it won't be a maxed out one, because I'm going to focus only on this character. But I will get, a striker build loadout, probably at some point. Just some standard weapon damage DPS to just switch to for situations like that when it's just absolutely needed. Because obviously a team doesn't need everyone to be a maxed out DPS build, but there's situations where everyone has to be a DPS build. So I'll do that, figure out what those builds usually entail, and just have a loadout just for DPS. But yeah, it will never be a build, and it will never be a build that I'm focused on improving though. Like, my SHD right now is going towards armor and that stuff. I know eventually you get everything anyway, but again, that's been my focus with my SHD. And once I can improve my expertise even more, it's going to be all about my weapons and my armor on this particular build. Because one, I need to increase my damage a little bit more so it doesn't take me forever to kill things. And two, I want to get even tankier because I still feel like I need to get tankier. Mostly because this game hates tanks and it just forces you to be in a cover shooter as much as possible. You take so much damage randomly from things, so it's like, yep, But I am at the point where I'm just determined to cut against the grain. I'm just, I know what it is, what it's wanting me to do, and I know what most players do, and I don't care. It's like, it is what it is. I will always prefer being a tank. I will always want to play as a tank, and that's how it is. In the old games, the old RPG games, it was the reverse. The DPSs were the weaklings. It was all about tanks and healers, I remember. You needed DPS, but you didn't need, I remember there were some bosses in some old games I played where, you actually didn't need a DPS. The DPS quickened it, would make the fight go faster, but just a tank and a healer with enough time could still kill any boss. The DPS was just there to make it go faster, and usually for that reason, you didn't need one. Or you didn't want one, rather. Teams wanted multiple DPSs, which means people were like DPS builds were just not, needed as much. Parties didn't really care much for them anymore. They still wanted one occasionally, but for the most part, they were like, yeah, we need DPSers, but we always need a tank. Like, yeah, we want some DPS to make this boss go by quicker. That's definitely a quality of life improvement to the party. However, we don't need, you, Billy, because we have another DPS over there. Or if push comes to serve, we'll just tank and out heal it if we have to. But the focus was always like, we need a tank though. Like a tank is absolutely a requirement. A healer is absolutely a requirement. Well, actually, no. I remember some games, tanks were so OP that they could actually just do it all on themselves. Or if you had like multiple tanks that were just taking turns drawing aggro off the other tank, they could actually do it on their own. Of course, healers could do the same thing. Because, yeah, I can't diss healers. They're always just as OP, if not more so, than tanks too. My point is that DPS builds in the old days of gaming just weren't as needed anymore. But players who still wanted to be one still played, and I respect them for it. And now we've reached the stage where it's the total reverse. It's like that team I was in, they could tell that sometimes having a tank is a quality of life improvement. Sometimes having a tank or a healer can help, genuinely help, and sometimes it's still a good thing to have. But, as everybody knows, ultimately, all you need is everyone being a DPS, Dark Souls, dodging the boss until you kill them, party. Anyway, I've been in Dark Zone too long, so I'll go ahead and end it there.